President Tinubu charges armed forces to tackle head-on the fight against insecurity. Religious bodies stands in prayers for rain. These and more on today's Panorama. I am Zenret Dingmo. Thanks for joining us. President Bola Tinubu has implored the Nigerian armed forces to up their game, combat and end all the security challenges facing the country, just as the federal government is ready to provide their needs for an improved operational efficiency. President Bola Tinubu was at the Senior Course 45 graduation ceremony of the Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Jaji. State House correspondent Musbad Onwahab reports.
The President and Commander-in-Chief would witness as his armed forces get a reinforcement. And these are the lucky officers whose graduation President Tinubu is attending on his first visit to the Joint Service Institution. Tactical and operational level officers upskilled for 48 weeks and now certified.
You have been found worthy in character and learning. Congratulations.
Some also distinguished themselves, winning awards in different categories, including the only lady of the set who emerged the best overall non-military student.
As you return to your respective nations, services, and agencies, the comprehensive training you receive here must reflect in your contributions towards addressing the profoundly consequential challenges that our nation and the world faces today.
I say to you personally, congratulations.
They all earned presidential respect as the best of the moment, but that has also placed additional responsibilities on them.
Your graduation today is a call to greater duty for the nation you love. May you stand brave and unwavering in the discharge of your constitutional responsibilities, and may you always do honor to the sterling name of the Armed Forces Command and Staff College.
President Tinubu acknowledges the challenging global, continental, and regional security threats, demanding collective effort, but with the armed forces in front for the safety and peace of all.
This new generation of threats demand that African countries work together as never before. In this regard, the multinational collaboration of Nigeria, Cameroon, the Nigerian Republic, and Chad to bring peace to the Chad region is an example that must be improved by all means and replicated whenever it's necessary. As Commander-in-Chief, I have given myself the following charge: to deploy the entire machinery of state power to ensure security of our people and property in a just and democratic society.
We as Minister of Defense and the Armed Forces, we only can reassure His Excellency Mr. President that whom much is given, much is expected, and therefore we are ready to do our best to ensure that we maintain the territorial integrity and the sanctity of our dear country, Nigeria.
I am very, very happy and fired up, especially with the remarks of the special guest of honor, the President Commander-in-Chief. All of us are happy that he attended this graduation ceremony.
We will see how we're going to conquer all threats that is coming to our nation through land, sea, and air.
It has been a wonderful experience which will help us in our future to conduct our operations as well as to help the country in terms of defense and other methods.
The 291 graduates of the Senior Course 45 cut across the Nigerian Armed Forces, non-military agencies, and include international students from Asian and other African countries. From Jaji, Muspal and Wahab, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Police Service Commission has approved the dismissal of 3 senior police officers over cases of misconduct. In a statement, the Commission also approved the reduction in ranks of 5 others found wanting in the conduct of their official duties. The dismissed police officers were 2 deputy superintendents of police and 1 assistant superintendent of police, 1 chief superintendent of police, 1 superintendent, 1 deputy superintendent and 2 assistant superintendents of police had their ranks reduced for misconduct. 14 officers got the punishment of severe reprimand, 6 reprimand and 7 others letters of warning. Similarly, the Commission also reinstated 6 dismissed officers who got favorable court judgments. Meanwhile, Chairman of the Commission, Dr. Salomon Arashe, assured the Commission will continue to hold police officers accountable for their conduct or misconduct and will ensure that pending disciplinary matters will receive the Commission's urgent attention at all times so that officers are not unduly stagnated. And acts of corruption, disloyalty, disobedience to constituted authority and insubordination will be decisively dealt with and defaulters will be shown the way out. Acting Chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission stated this at the graduation of Detective Superintendent Cadets Course 9 at the EFCC Academy in Abuja. Francis Form reports.
These are the Cadet Detective Superintendent Course 9 of the EFCC. Their journey into the EFCC, which began 12 months ago with rigorous training in legal, operations, forensic, ICT, financial, and general studies, came to a climax today.
12 months ago, you perhaps had doubts what was going to happen to your children. Well, God has helped us to keep your children, and I'm very sure that when they leave here and you see them, they will be better human beings than you handed over to us.
If you misbehave, if you compromise your office, we send you back to your parents. And that is why we are saying it to the hearing of the parents.
For the acting chairman of the commission, the cadets are coming in at a time the commission is championing the fight against unwholesome acts being perpetrated by unscrupulous persons whose aim is gaining illicit wealth at the expense of the populace.
I urge you all to acquaint yourselves with the staff regulations and all other policies and manuals of the commission. The EFCC is strictly guided by the Establishment Act and the earlier mentioned documents. Internalize them and let them be your daily guide.
2 cadets who developed applications for the academy, Best Marksman and Woman Rifle, Best Marksman and Woman Pistol, and the overall Best Cadet were honored by the commission. Francis from NTA News.
In a bid to sanitize communities of criminal elements, a security team led by the Nigerian Navy has arrested some suspected drug dealers in Atani following an early attack on the United States Embassy staff along Umunanko-Osomala Road, Ogbaru local government area of Anambra State. Udo Koronko Chukwu has details.
10 times, the 15 communities in Ogbaru local government area have been engulfed in one crisis or the other. The situation has left Atani, the headquarters of the council, open to criminal handouts. The security team arrested 3 suspects, a 37-year-old mother of 4, who is accused of selling meth and cannabis sativa with her husband, a 32-year-old man who cultivates and offers home service delivery to his prospective buyers, is arrested alongside his neighbor.
So I just started it. I have not made much on it. The one I make, I just used to buy my machine.
I don't know what I go do again. I just say, no, just the manager. Very soon now, we'll go stop the business because I don't think I say it's more time I go old.
The President General of the community, Arinze Nzeli, coordinated the operation and led the security team to the homes of the suspects. He decried the activities of the criminals and described the involvement of the security agency as the last resort for the community.
Because of illicit drugs and other things, our youths are behaving abnormal. They are stealing, they are robbing, they are doing so many things. They are abusing people. They are even abusing the sand miners in Atani.
The problem that is there is some group of people terrorizing the community, the area that are doing business, sand business, disturbing our customers by hitting them, collecting money.
The security team assured the community that the suspects will be handed over to the NDLEA for prosecution. In Onitsha, Udo Okoronkwochukwu, NTA News.
Let's take a break now. Panorama continues shortly. Thanks for staying with us on Panorama. The federal government is prioritizing the national social safety net programs, especially those targeted at children's welfare. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, stated this while receiving the UNICEF country representative in his office. Kenneth Nanim reports that the SGF also played host to a delegation from the Nigerian German Investment Expo.
UNICEF Nigeria country's representative is here on a visit to the SGF to intimate him on the 5-year work plan of UNICEF in Nigeria regarding the welfare of children and women, as well as enhance partnership with the federal government.
We are interested in looking at what are your priorities and see if we can also contribute in some areas where we can say we can bring an added value.
The SGF reaffirmed that the present administration is committed to addressing issues bordering on the well-being of children and women.
When we talk of social inclusion, social security, this government is going to address this with emphasis on transparency as well.
In a separate remarks, the SGF explained efforts by the federal government to create an enabling environment that will attract foreign investments into the country and by extension deepen mutual trade and bilateral relations between Nigeria and other countries.
The time for Nigeria to take the center stage as an economic powerhouse in Africa is now. Nigeria is highly endowed. Would have the human resources, will have the natural resources. And that is why His Excellency has decided to make his government a business-friendly one.
The SGF played host to officials of Nigeria German Investment Expo who paid him a courtesy visit. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
The All Progressives Congress says despite the resignation of Abdullahi Adamu and Iola Omishore as National Chairman and National Secretary, the party stands as one strong, dynamic, resilient and progressive party under the leadership of Senator Abubakar Kyari. National Publicity Secretary of APC Felix Moka in a statement noted that the resignations under reference only show the high level of institutional maturity and quality of its leadership that place the best interest of the party first and above personal egos and ambitions. Adding that the rapid and seamless succession in acting capacities to both offices exemplifies the cogency of the party's constitutional processes. The statement describes as false trending reports in sections of the media suggesting disharmony among members of National Working Committee or between the NWC and other critical sections of the party's leadership around possible successor to the office of National Chairman and National Secretary. As Africa's largest political party, the statement adds that APC demonstrated capacity to adapt to change and emergent realities and promised to remain committed to the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration towards uplifting the quality of life of all Nigerians. And speakers of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS Parliament and the East Africa Legislative Assembly have agreed to foster integration, trade and free visa movement across both regions. The matter came up when the Speaker, East Africa Legislative Assembly, visited the ECOWAS Parliament in Abuja. Charles Alpha reports.
Speaker of the two assemblies discussed ways of strengthening integration between both blocs for the interests of the people to achieve a unified Africa. Sidi Tunis, Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament, and Ntakiru Timana Joseph of the East African Legislative Assembly, after a closed-door meeting, said the two parliaments have agreed to come up with resolutions to enhance visa-free movement across West and East African countries, as well as share knowledge on best parliamentary practices.
We're trying now to get to open the airspace for flights and to get the cheapest ticket as one country when you are in.
That way, the integration that we are talking about, it will happen. We'll have a situation where somebody can leave Nigeria and go to Burundi without any visa, and you'll be allowed to stay in there.
Both speakers also discussed supporting the candidate of the Speaker of the Tanzania House of Assembly, Tulia Ackson, as president of the Interparliamentary Union. Joseph said Africa clinching the presidency after 100 years of the union's existence is an opportunity that must not elude the continent. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
And the African regional bodies must unite to find solutions to their peculiar problems. This is coming from the Speaker ECOWAS Parliament, Sidi Mohamed Tunis, while leading his East African counterpart on a visit to the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies. John Yako has details.
ECOWAS Parliament, Sidi Tunis, and that of East African Legislative Assembly is to familiarize themselves, exchange ideas, and find ways of strengthening ties between regional legislative bodies in Africa. Needs as a training institute is therefore a rallying point for the regional parliaments to acquire such knowledge and address their challenges.
The bottom line is that Africa is trying to unite. But to be able to unite the people of this sub-region, the foundation has to be these regional bodies.
Because they're good for Africa, voting laws which are good for Africans, and stand as one, economically, politically. That's the only way that Africa will avoid to get divided.
We are trying to encourage other African parliaments to send in their staff, parliamentary staff, and even the parliamentarians on most of these short programs, either the master program or the short courses.
A memorandum of understanding between NEEDS and the ECOWAS Parliament for the training of parliamentarians and staff was muted at the meeting. In Abuja, John Yakub, NTA News.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has met with the 37 collation and returning officers for the 2023 presidential election in continuation of its post-election review meetings. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu re-emphasized that the post-election review was to assess how far and how well the 2023 general election went. Timothy Yusuf reports.
This meeting is the fourth in the series of INEC's post-election review of the 2023 general election. Debriefing of collation and returning officers for the 2023 presidential election is the main task in this interface between the election management body, INEC, and these vice-chancellors of universities, having played key role in the conduct of the exercise.
As field workers, we expect to hear from you the challenges encountered.
INEC INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu called for a holistic review of their role in the 2023 presidential poll, with a view to also evolve strategies for future improvement in the nation's elections.
At this meeting, we will identify areas of strength and weaknesses, as well as the necessary reforms that we need to introduce going forward.
INEC is also scheduled to meet with other critical stakeholders in the coming days as part of the post-election review meetings. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Nigeria will continue to leverage the emergence of the digital age to adapt to the new realities so that it does not remain a second-class country by serving other nations that have advanced through learning and impactful research. This was at the closing ceremony of the Training on Research for Impact R41 initiative put together by the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TED Fund. The fund believes that the training will promote innovation and viable research in higher education institutions as technological development holds the massive key to overcoming challenges bedeviling the country.
At the current exchange rate, in no distant time, it will be practically impossible to import anything. The fact of the matter is that we must confront the reality. We must innovate, we must create, we must make new products, and through that, we must create wealth for our people. We must adopt the time-tested technique, strategy for sustainable development.
Think, look at your problems, innovate, have a team, and you can be able to solve so many problems.
18 polytechnics lecturers drawn from across the country successfully completed the training program on Research for Impact R41 Initiative National Board for Technical Education (NBTE), which commended the fund, challenged participants to work as team and also share knowledge gained with other lecturers in their various institutions. The federal government and of Niger State have flagged off statewide animal vaccination against anthrax. The exercise was flagged off at a farm belonging to the Emir of Suleja, Muhammadu Awal Ibrahim, in Tafa local government area of the state. The federal government, through the Ministry of Agriculture, has deployed 50,000 doses of the vaccine, while the state government procured 400,000 doses. All animals, including cows, sheep and goats, within 12 radius of where the first case was detected, will be vaccinated. The Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN Borno State Chapter, has observed a special intercessory prayer session over the worrying shortfall of rainfall in Maiduguri and other parts of the state for over a month. The prayer, which took place at the First Baptist Church, Maiduguri, attracted Christian faithful from different denominations within the Borno State capital. Milka Malam reports.
It is about a month now that the city of Maiduguri is experiencing cessation of rainfall after the commencement of the rainy season, causing worries to the populace. Right from time, believers usually intercede with God in prayer when difficulties and calamities befall the land. Hence the need for CAN, Borno State Chapter, to organize the special prayer service to plead for the mercies of God on mankind for abundant rainfall and bountiful harvest. In his message, the State CAN Chairman, Reverend John Bakeni, took his readings from the book of James chapter 5 verse 16, which says, "The fervent prayer of the righteous is powerful and effective," calling on the congregation to refrain from sin so that the prayers will be answered.
We have come together this morning as a Christian family to join our prayers with that of our Muslim brothers and sisters throughout the state and other traditionalists too, so that God will intervene in our situation.
The Christian community have always been very proactive in times of this kind of trials. The Christian faithful as a family should come and pray for God to have mercy on his people.
We urge Christians to continue praying because this is not the end of the prayer and we need the rain.
The prayer session was offered in different local and national languages, where the clergies enjoined Christian faithfuls to intensify prayers in their various denominations for peace and abundant rainfall in the state and beyond.
We will never be weary because of lack of rain, in the name of Jesus.
In Maiduguri, Milka Damala, NTA News.
And that concludes Panorama today. I am Zenwet Dingmun. Thanks for your time.